Greetings from World University and School on Monday, July 20th, 2026 at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And as we wait to see if people will join this open WUAS weekly business meeting, news and question and answer, loosely conducted as in the manner of Friends, NTFs, Quakers, unprogrammed monthly business meeting, which actually usually has an agenda. I'd like to share a little news with you. Very glad received an email from abstracttechnology.de from Jaimin Pavashia, who is originally from India, and regarding his reaching out to World University and School on July 1st, 2026 from abstracttechnology.de, and possibly with abstracttechnology.de working with Open edX Europe to develop World University and School with MIT OpenCourseWare by potentially World University and School and abstracttechnology.de adding all 2,500 courses and more from MIT OpenCourseWare in English to the Open edX Europe platform, which is then possibly or potentially accreditable. World University and School would be accreditable with our courses building on MIT OpenCourseWare on the Open edX Europe platform. So Jaimin wrote, regarding World University and School's reply to his email of July 1st, 2026. Jaimin writes, "Dear Scott, thank you for the detailed follow-ups and for sharing the wider context of World University and School's mission, along with the various blog posts and communications you've included us in over the past weeks. As shared in our original outreach on July 1st, 2026, Abstract Technology GmbH is a commercial, verified Open edX service partner. Our engagements, platform builds, migrations, hosting, custom development, AI integration, and related services are delivered on a paid contractual basis to funded institutions and organizations. Based on what you've described, particularly your role, your note that World University and School is currently not financially operational, I want to be transparent with you. This is unfortunately not a fit for the services we offer at this stage. Specifically, we are not in a position to take on unfunded platform builds, translation work, e.g. MIT OCW into German, or free multi-country development deployments. Accreditation processes in Germany or elsewhere, all entirely with national accreditation bodies and the applying institution. This is not a service Abstract Technology provides. And we were not involved in accrediting the German University of Digital Science. Our role there was limited to building and supporting the technical platform, which they use for their program delivery. Given the above, I don't see a realistic path for us to engage commercially on the WUAS initiatives you've outlined. I'd also kindly ask to be removed from the recurring weekly business meeting CC list and related mailing threads, as these fall outside the scope of our commercial conversations. I genuinely wish you the best with World University and Schools mission, and thank you again for your interest in abstract technology. Best regards, Jaimin Pavashia. And I replied an hour ago to both Jaimin Pavashia and Stefania Trabucci, who I think is the lead in abstracttechnology.de, and also to ehemalige Bundeskanzlerin.ad, Angela Merkel, to the Bundeskanzlerin Angela Merkel, who was the Chancellor of Germany for about 15 years, 16 years, and also to Roland Vogel, the Stanford Law School director of Stanford Law Codex, and to Sid Mazumdar in Health and Human Services in the US federal government, and to Peter Norvig, Stanford Distinguished Education Fellow and Google AI Director, and all. Gottes Willen, wie Sie in Bayern sagen, wo ich 1981 bis 1982 studiert habe. Gottes Willen is an exclamation in Bavaria it can be Eureka, but also high feeling or something like that. Thanks so much for your email reply to my abstracttechnology.de contacts form, especially. I'll bring your email to World University and Schools weekly business meeting, loosely conducted in the manner of Unprogrammed Friends, NTF's Quakers monthly business meeting in 1.5 hours for further consideration, which I'm doing now. This WUAS weekly business meeting is a form of friendly business meeting. And potentially for your consideration, you who might watch the recording, or to see if someone is interested in joining now. I'm not seeing anyone right now. So further to Jaimin and all. Having just received a US federal simplergrants.gov webinar recording from June 30th, and in World University and Schools seeking to deploy with the full US federal toolkit, it's possible. WUAS, after some 20 years of friendly, Quaker-inspired or Quaker-led, pretty much daily growth, will have access to funding sources. If World University and School were able to remunerate abstracttechnology.de, and in developing legal contracts for this, and for, quote, this is what Jaimin wrote, quote, platform builds, migrations, hosting, custom development, AI integration, and related services, which are delivered on a paid contractual basis to funded institutions and organizations. How might we potentially proceed? As you may have read, and regarding, quote, Jaimin saying, we are not in a position to take on unfunded platform builds, translation work, e.g. MIT OCW into German, or free multi-country deployments. I continue, World University and School is seeking to develop in all 200 countries and in their main languages, and in the 32 Atlantic Partnership countries, per a meeting between Bundeskanzlerin Merkel and former Prime Minister of England, Theresa May, and see agenda item 1 here in the weekly business meeting agenda beginning Mount Gongga, Minyakonika, China, which is posted last week, Monday, July 13th, on both blogs, and potentially by adding MIT OCW in 7 languages to an open edX Europe-like platform to make free to students WUAS degrees available in all 200 countries, WUAS universities. Building out WUAS translation of MIT OCW further into many languages and on an open edX Europe-like platform is something WUAS is interested in exploring. And brainstorming, I'm wondering if abstracttechnology.de could connect WUAS with German computer scientists to explore developing with the AI, the artificial intelligence and machine learning and natural language processing to translate MIT OCW's more than 2,500 courses into German and potentially also into the Bengali language of Bangladesh and West Bengal, India, early on. And further, if WUAS could hire through abstracttechnology.de as a major growth story for you especially, such German AI and ML and NLP computer scientists to create even Germany World University and School in German and in English, and for German students in Germany and around the world interested in free to students WUAS degrees. Like most German universities are free, I've read, but newly studying MIT OCW in German as a whole new set of courses in Germany. How best might we do this? As you may know, also, World University and School is in a hashtag Grow with Google WUAS program. And then building on your success with the German University of Digital Science, UDS, and their accreditation networks, contacts, and people, how might WUAS do this, and potentially through abstracttechnology.de, as a further growth story for you? Once World University and School WUAS is accredited and building on MIT OCW licensed MIT OCW, which says anyone can share MIT OCW free. Creative Commons 4 licensing says 1, share it freely. 2, adapt it, for example, with AI and ML. Further, for example, with Open edX Europe. But 3, non-commercially. So World University and School will be free to students. WUAS is seeking remuneration from all 200 countries, ministries of education, along the lines in the rich countries of what it costs to attend MIT, Harvard, Stanford, around $65,000 or euros, roughly 2, per year per student. All of this could prove to be a further remarkable growth opportunity for abstracttechnology.de. How best to proceed with these questions further? And as these queries season regarding WUAS weekly business meeting today, Monday, July 20th, 2026, and next Monday, July 27th, 2026. Would you like to join WUAS weekly business meeting to talk further about all of this next Monday, July 27, 2026 at 10 a.m. Pacific time or another time and day? Best regards, Scott Gordon MacLeod. And I share also the weekly business meeting agenda and news for today, beginning Adirondack, High Peaks Wilderness, New York, in both blogs, worlduniversityandschool.blogspot.com and scott-mccloud.blogspot.com. P.S. Bundeskanzlerin AD Angela Merkel, how might World University and School come into communication with your quantum physics PhD colleagues and potentially to build out a hashtag realistic virtual Earth for quantum and a hashtag realistic virtual Earth for aging reversal too, and regarding a hashtag realistic virtual Earth for genetics, and further regarding this recent Google Quantum Echoes YouTube short video, which came onto my smartphone. Super Quantum Echoes, including running simulations forward and in reverse, Reversing the Arrow of Time. It's only about 2 minutes long. I'll post it further in today's WUS Weekly Business Meeting. So I created a set of Twitter posts regarding this further question to Angela Merkel further also, and it reads, super, hashtag quantum echoes, including running simulations forward and in reverse, reversing the arrow of time. How does hashtag quantum computing help determine complex hashtag G molecular structures? How to interoperate with hashtag realistic virtual earth for aging reversal, hashtag RVE for drugs, hashtag WUAS universities, UNIVS. And more about this also, this last set of Twitter posts, in the blog post beginning Monterey Clover, Trifolium trichocalyx, in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com, from Wednesday, July 15th, 2026. Haven't heard back from Jaimin after sending him this about 2 hours ago. And by reading this into this weekly business meeting Zoom conference call, which I'll then add the recording for to the current main YouTube channel for World University and School, which is youtube.com/Scott McCloud World University /videos. I'll let this season in this WUS weekly business meeting and for further communication with Jaimin and Stefania and Angela and Roland and Peter and Sid. So on with the agenda and news, and with the introductory greetings in letter form. Dear World University and School community, networks and friends, Universitians, all, greetings. And here are some great new World University and School WUAS developments. Excited to explore further Vernonia letters to dear Theresa May, Frau Angela Merkel, and Atlantic Partnership. Further, how might at World Univ and SCH at WUS Press, this is a build out 32 Atlantic Partnership countries, free world-class hashtag WUS universities, accrediting hashtag Germany WUAS in German and in English, in Germany, and by adding hashtag MIT OCW in 7 languages, and with the University of Oxford, where former Prime Minister of England, Theresa May, was a student, I think graduating in 1979, still with the 60s and 70s in the air, somehow culturally, counterculturally, or similar. And in accreditation of the new, and regarding accreditation of the new Germany World University and School in German on the Open edX Europe platform with abstracttechnology.de. How many Atlantic Partnership countries are there? 32. This WUS weekly business meeting agenda and news is in the blog post beginning Mount Ganga, which is posted July 13th, 2026, if you would like to further explore this. Continuing, item AA in this introductory letter. Again, are there any organizations in the US or companies that are both a 501c3 tax-exempt legal entity, like World University and School, and concurrently a for-profit general stock company legal entity in the state of California, like the WUAS Corporation, WUAS Press, part of World University and School. And I asked this of Gemini, and it gave an incredible response. And no, there aren't. But it also explained how both wings might interoperate in terms of intellectual property and financially, initially, as a starting place, in a way that was new for me. And I haven't heard anyone else explain how both wings might interoperate either, because this is such a unique set of synergies, opportunities, interesting possibilities with both wings planned in 200 countries and for speakers of all 7,159 living languages. So continuing, there are incredible potential synergies between these two WUAS wings planned in all 200 countries approximately per the Olympics, and for speakers of all 7,159 living languages. And see agenda item 2 from the Monday's 6/22/2026 weekly business meeting for how these two wings might interoperate financially and regarding IP law further. In the blog post beginning Phan Phui, Blue Mountain National Park, India, in both blogs. Item BB, and again, regarding the WUAS Corporation for-profit wing in the state of California, our second wing, and its beginning webpage is worlduniversityandschool.org/academicpress.html with its tax ID number at the bottom. How will WUS be able to develop with Stanford MinePi cryptocurrency? And you can get your own MinePi cryptocurrency at this URL, minepi.com/SGKMAC, initially, and as a for-profit general stock company in the state of California, and even possibly, with time, list the WUS Corporation on a stock exchange, such as the NASDAQ or the Silicon Valley Long-Term Stock Exchange, or even multi-list the WUS Corporation, and regarding the academic press at WUS in 7,159 living languages, with machine and human translation, and the WUS educational services stores, both in all 200 countries. Item B1, and interoperate effectively with our first World University and School wing with its US federal and state of California tax-exempt World University and School legal entities. Both tax-exempt legal entities' tax ID numbers are at the bottom of the beginning webpage, worlduniversityandschool.org, and see to the candid.org profile for World University and School. Item B2, and how might the Grow with Google WUS program for World University and School at WUAS potentially help with coding these two WUAS wings, especially initially? And I guess I'll add here, how could abstract-technology.de also help with coding both of these wings, these two WUS wings, further? Item CC, World University and School's open WUS weekly business meeting, news and question and answer, meet on Mondays, next today on July 20th at 9 a.m. Pacific Mexico time, 10 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Mountain time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, US and Canada, 5 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. I think it's 6 p.m. Central European time in Germany, for example, 10:30 p.m. India time, 1 a.m. Tuesday, the next day, Hong Kong time. But please check your time converter from any of your 24 time zones to join the open WUAS weekly business meeting with Zoom URL in the open WUAS weekly business meeting agenda and news sent out about 8 days beforehand, and in the following WUS blog posts, with an invitation to join this WUS Weekly Business Meeting with your questions and answers. So here's the agenda for today's Open WUS Weekly Business Meeting, which I shared with you last week in the blog post, again, beginning Mount Gongga, Minya Konka, China, in both blogs. So that's for today, July 20th, 2026, shared last Monday and posted last Monday, July 13th, 2026 in both blogs. Item DD, World University and School is growing daily and weekly business meeting by weekly business meeting. And you can see the business meeting blog labels in both blogs. And before these, with WS monthly business meeting, bi-monthly business meeting, loosely conducted in the manner of unprogrammed friends, NTFs, Quakers, and blog post by blog post, too. And waiting, I think, for accreditation opportunities to further develop, and in WUS, seeking to deploy with the full US federal toolkit. Item EE, and WUS is waiting for money from grants.gov initially, or simplergrants.gov now, and see agenda item 4 below, or from some other grant somehow, and how to grow a flourishing, engaged, and engaging research community online. MIT and Harvard's How to Grow Almost Anything synthetic biology course online as a model with the HTGAA blog label in both blogs, World University and School.blogspot.com and scott-mccloud.blogspot.com. This course is a synthetic biology course taught by many MIT and Harvard faculty, I think, over the years, particularly by George Church and others in the How to Grow Almost Anything synthetic biology course last spring 2025, in which I was a global listener. There were also committed listeners who were doing the work of for the course about 10 hours a week. And there were also Harvard and MIT registered students, both undergraduate and graduate, taking the course for credit. And how best to grow an engaged and engaging WUS Wiki teaching and Wiki learning community with Wiki teachers and Wiki learners teaching and learning in any of these subjects at wiki.worlduniversityandschool.org/wiki/subjects with a capital S, or beginning new subjects, first in English, but then in all 200 countries' main languages. And then for speakers of all 7,159 living languages to do this in all of these languages. And again, with wiki subjects one can create. For example, about what one loves to do, teach, or learn about, and both online and with a 2D, 3D computer screen, and in our homes in a developing realistic virtual earth. For example, in digital glasses and similar hardware, and potentially, especially, in WUS multimedia rooms in our homes, and which we might be able to create on our own, or eventually we'll be able to purchase too. So smart screen TVs on 5 sides of a room to begin, that are both projectors maybe and also cameras for a fully immersive n-dimensional experience. So also a WUS hospital multimedia room. And think with a Google Street View with time slider, in a sense, platform, operating system platform even. And not only at the Street View level, but also at the cell view level, the molecular view level, the atom view level, and the qubit level, etc. And at the WUS or in the WUS Academic Medical Center. And for example, out of 670 Ridgecrest Road, Canyon, 94516, potentially too. And see also this short video, Google Earth in an immersive meeting room. And potentially for n-dimensional developments. and as these iterate. All the best abolitionally, a best STEAM, Creative Commons licensed OpenCourseWare wiki at World Univ and SCH, hashtag WUS abolition movement continues to grow to protect people. And more about this in 2 blog posts from October of 2025. We're beginning Eagle Akia World University in worlduniversityandschool.blogspot.com and scott-mccloud.blogspot.com. And in WUS, seeking to code for all 7.9 billion people on the planet to facilitate wiki, free, universal education, and potentially to end poverty worldwide. Yogically, 8 limbs of yoga, and see the tree of 8 limbs of yoga picture here in this Quaker Yoga Macflower Twitter post pinned to the top of the Q_Yoga Macflower Twitter feed. Friendly NTF, non-theist friend, NTQ, non-theist Quaker, and regarding Quaker spices, simplicity, peace, integrity, community, quality, stewardship, and Unitarian Universalist Church, and regarding the 7 or 8 UU principles. Greetings, kind regards, Scott G.K. McCloud, president at World University and School.org. I'm the founder, the president, the CEO currently, and professor, presiding and recording clerk also, loosely in the manner of friends of World University and School and WUAS. So the recording of today's WUS weekly business meeting will be posted to the current main YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Scott McCloud World University /videos. So moving to the first wing of World University and School, the first of 2 wings, World University and School. It's a 501c3 or similar nonprofit. See the candid profile for World University and School, and it's building on CC licensed best STEAM OpenCourseWare, and which is also wiki. Current main beginning webpage is worlduniversityandschool.org, and see both exempt legal entities tax IDs at the bottom of this worlduniversityandschool.org webpage. Agenda item 0. So the video minutes as a recording for July 6th, about 2 weeks ago, begin in the blog post beginning Chugach Mountains, AK, are posted in last week's WS weekly business meeting agenda and news, which are begin Mount Ganga. Check them out. And regarding further, possibly still exploring hashtag WUAS accreditation and hashtag Germany WUAS. See more about this also in the blog post beginning Chugach Mountains, in addition to the Mount Ganga in both blog posts for World University and School Weekly Business Meeting Agenda and News. Agenda item 1, Tuesday, July 7th, 2026. Vernonia Flowers, the blog post begins, letter to dear Theresa May, former Prime Minister of England, of Great Britain, and Frau Angela Merkel at the Atlantic Partnership. Bundeskanzlerin Angela Merkel traveled to London and met with, I think she gave a speech as well, Theresa May at the Atlantic Partnership. And I think they may be exploring possible developments for the Atlantic Partnership as well. So how might World University and School WUS Press build out 32 Atlantic Partnership countries' free world-class WUS universities, accrediting Germany WUS in Germany, and by adding MIT OCW in 7 languages, and with the University of Oxford. And regarding accreditation newly at Germany World University and School in German on the Open edX Europe platform with abstracttechnologies.de, ? And see more about this in the blog post beginning, Brownonia dialonensis, in the, July 2026 in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com. So one of the questions, item 1A, as World University and School seeks accreditation, possibly newly in Germany for Germany WUS, and regarding even planning for potential students from all 200 countries and who speak German and speak English. What about the SAT, the Scholastic Aptitude Test in America, which is a requirement in applying to universities in many US states, but not, for example, at the University of California, all 10 universities of California. And there are some further ongoing newspaper articles and similar from people at the University of California, Berkeley, and other California universities seeking to bring back the SAT in California. A New York Times article was written to that effect. And I think many people are still debating this. And there was an article just this morning I read from Angela, I think Amber Salazar in Fresno, California, who was in the San Francisco Chronicle opinion, who said that many students aren't prepared for college yet. And I think it might make moot the timeline that other academics, say at the University of California, have in mind for bringing back the SAT in California universities. Implications for World University and School, as we might develop next, Germany WUS and English, and in English too, accrediting in Germany and seeking students from all 200 countries around the world. I don't know if we're in a position to require the SAT to be taken. And with machine learning and AI, we may be able to, develop in different ways for in seeking applicants. For a while, 2 or 3 years ago, World University and School was exploring in an innovative way the possibility of students working through the LEGO Spike Prime Robotics Kit tutorial, developing the tutorial with the Scratch programming language, a visual drag and drop block programming language out of MIT and Harvard, to as a way to matriculate into free World University and School. That's the Scratch programming language that Google had developed, a programming language course that Google had developed. It was a Creative Commons 4 license course too, something like CS First with Google, was turned down, actually. I think it's possible that students around the world turned it down, and, maybe with echoes of Berkeley protests of yesteryear. I'm not sure. But World University and School, as we continue exploring the possibility of accreditation in new ways, possibly in Germany, will seek new approaches to applications to applying to World University and School. Item 1B, how best to grow further in some of these regards, a WUS worldwide abolition movement in this process, and regarding approximately 50 million people estimated to be enslaved or entangled in related sex trafficking and trafficking issues. And per the Global Commission on Slavery Trafficking, or Slavery and Trafficking, which I think is based in London, an estimated 50 million people worldwide are currently trapped in modern slavery and human trafficking. This reality is underscored by the findings of the Global Commission on Modern Slavery and Human Trafficking, which launched a comprehensive report at the United Nations headquarters. See more about this in the blog post beginning Vernonia Dialonensis in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com, from July of 2026. So how could World University and School grow an abolition movement worldwide further in some of these regards, and as we accredit to? Well, World University and School continues to seek to code for not only speakers of all 7,159 living languages in all 200 countries, but from there to code for potentially all 7.9 billion people on the planet, and to facilitate free wiki universal education, as well as with free online degrees that are building on MIT OpenCourseWare in 7 languages, and potentially also to end poverty by distributing Stanford MindPi cryptocurrency, free money daily, to many of these 7.9 billion people, potentially, say, the poorest billion people on the planet. And in the process of coding for all 7.9 billion people, and even with avatar agent electronic health records, and potentially for emerging longevity genetic drug therapies and aging reversal genetic drug therapies, it may be possible to begin to code for protecting people from, say, modern slavery and human trafficking in this list of possibly coding for 7.9 billion people. To end poverty among, say, the poorest billion out of 8 billion people on the planet, World University and School also would seek to facilitate getting, say, the poorest billion people, perhaps in partnership with the United Nations, electricity, smartphones, because you need a smartphone to get Pi cryptocurrency, and free universal education and IT, information technology infrastructure as well. Just these processes may already be underway with the United Nations and the Sustainable Development Goals, but World University and School might be able to facilitate further protecting people, say the 50 million people who are enslaved, sounds tragic, and involved in trafficking. We'll see, but these are huge next steps World University and School might achieve if we can begin to develop, possibly with the adding MIT OpenCourseWare in 7 languages to an Open edX Europe-like platform, and possibly accrediting World University and School in Germany with this. Stay tuned. So, agenda item 2. Further, super quantum echoes, including running simulations forward and reverse, and in reverse, reversing the arrow of time regarding a YouTube short video, Google Quantum Advantage, Super Echoes, it's titled, I think. Set of Twitter posts to how does quantum computing help determine complex G molecular structures, and how to interoperate with a realistic virtual Earth for aging reversal and a real RVE for drugs and World University. I've touched on this a little bit above. Read more about this in the blog post beginning Blue-Eyed Darner Dragonfly, Rion Xiansha. Agenda item 3. Also in the blog post beginning, Riano Eshna, Multicolor Dragonfly, Blue-Eyed Darner. Pratyush and Shashir, 2 new friends I met in Santa Cruz, California, 2 Saturdays ago, I think, who have computer science PhDs in large language models, machine learning, and are originally from India, from South India, who have also or are Kannada language speakers from India. Kannada is one of 22 scheduled languages in India. Again, both with PhDs in machine learning, and their PhDs are from the University of Washington and UC Berkeley. How might we grow World University and School in the Kannada language? And let's explore developing free to students India World University and School together in the Kannada language with time. I've been in touch via email with them about this. I'm curious to explore how might this happen further. And regarding also Peter Norvig's incredible #TulifyAI article, revolutionizing education with machine learning and AI, World University in School, updated March 2nd, 2024. Machine learning and AI can help with this significantly. And also brainstorming how to teach kids AI in the Kannada language in India at home. And as everyone builds out, for example, a realistic virtual Earth or comic books. Here's a video from Dede Effeanda from Indonesia from about 2 or 3 months ago, where he explains as a kind of tutorial how to develop with AI, how to learn AI and machine learning, building comic books. The title of the video is called Creating Comics with Gemini AI, and it was in a GEG Ahmedabad, Google Educator Group Ahmedabad, that I watched this video live, this talk live by Dede in Indonesia. Big questions. This is a set of Twitter posts. Creating comics with Gemini AI at GEG Ahmedabad. Big questions. How to create comics of G cells, so Google cells, so cell at the cell view level for science, and add to #realistic virtual Earth, #for STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, to #wiki teach learn, and think #G Street View with G time slider, and for #aging reversal genetics AI at the #WUAS college level. So could students in Indonesia and India, in their languages, create comics with Gemini AI at the cell view level, and even in a biology course, a genetics course, and to learn even and set up the platform further so that they could do experiments, aging reversal genetics with AI, and at the college level. Also, Shishir and Pratyush, in talking with them at Santa Cruz, near the Santa Cruz Surfing Museum, I learned that Shishir would like to learn how to surf, and I shared with him a picture of practicing surfing and getting up on a surfboard in the waves right at the beach from Stinson Beach in Marin, about 2 hours north of Santa Cruz, in some of these regards. And perhaps he'll follow up on this. I'm not sure. Item 3A. Met at Stinson Beach also on July 12th, 2026, Alex Long, who's from Australia originally, and I think he has an electrical engineering background from both Brisbane, Australia, as well as Technische Universität München, TUM in Munich, Germany. And was talking with him about a number of aspects of World University and School and his company, Pluralis, which seeks to take advantage of all the unused hardware capacity that are distributed around on all of our machines and smartphones with his company, Pluralis. And was wondering how Australia World University and School would develop for Australians, and also with their Ministry of Education, and potentially also shared with him further, and talking about extreme longevity genetics and aging reversal genetic drug therapies emerging FDA approved, shared with him further this great interview with George Church by Dwarkesh Patel from June of 2025, where George Church lays out further how aging reversal genetics might work in great ways. Shared with Alex Long further Pi cryptocurrency. More about this in the blog post beginning Blue-Eyed Darner Dragonfly. Agenda item 4. Excited for Google IT platforms, for example, hashtag Gemini AI, and in developing a hashtag realistic virtual earth, hashtag for genetics, hashtag for aging reversal, hashtag for extreme longevity, hashtag for OSK, October Socks Caliph, which are the first of 4 Yamanaka factors, which can reverse aging back to a near embryonic state in skin cells, I think, fibroblast cells, which are being developed, I think, with epigenetic reprogramming for aging reversal purposes, and potentially going through clinical trials. The first one may be ER100, a drug for glaucoma, for wide-angled glaucoma, where ER stands for epigenetic reprogramming. And I think it's going through safety trials with the FDA presently. It could have many applications if proven to be safe and efficacious to reverse glaucoma. How best to add copies in some of these regards further of specific genes back into my own body to reverse aging. And per this 66-second long, 60 minutes video interview of George Church by Scott Pelley from 2019. And potentially how to add copies of specific genes back into my own body, say to reverse this eustachian tube dysfunction I'm calling, first digitally to my avatar agent electronic health record in Google Street View with Google Time Slider, with Pegman becoming avatar agent electronic health records for all 7.9 billion people. So digital twins as EHR, electronic health records. And to see the effects of these experimental genes digitally. And then if the interest, if of interest, if these possible epigenetic reprogramming drug therapies based on Yamanaka factors, OSK, appear to be working and are proved safe, how to add them back into my own body mind. And also explore further, experiment further at the World University and School Academic Medical Center, and possibly n-dimensionally in a realistic virtual earth, and all with interoperating with the Flywire Connectome project out of Princeton University now, a citizen science project too, which started as a plan to model or create a wiring diagram of the Drosophila fly, Drosophila melanogaster, brain and neural cord, whether its neural cord has parallels to mammals' spines, for example. Could World University and School work with the Drosophila fly melanogaster flywire connectome with electronic health records in a realistic virtual Earth for aging reversal with, say, a mature adult Drosophila fly, flywire connectome, brain and neural cord, BANK, bank, and a juvenile Drosophila brain and neural cord? Play with them digitally, slide back and forth. And then if showing interest, even add a juvenile brain and neural cord from a Drosophila melanogaster, which is virtual, into an actual adult Drosophila fly and reverse aging. So move from the digital juvenile bank, brain and neural cord, into the physical, biological Drosophila fly, and explore how to reverse aging that way in an organism, Drosophila, which has relatively few neurons, relatively few cells compared to humans, significantly more than C. elegans. Let's experiment with C. elegans too, virtually and digitally and biologically and actually. More about this in the blog post beginning Sokorov's Phallus from 7/20/26 in my blog, Scott-McCloud. So 4A, agenda item 4A, how to scientifically prove aging reversal and extreme longevity in Drosophila fly. So scientifically prove, and how Amy Robinson-Sterling, who's the digital lead of the Flywire Connectome Drosophila brain modeling project, based, I think, in the Boston area, how to proceed on the digital side, and how to do so potentially with C. elegans for aging reversal too. And Nawafat Malawong, who is a Yale University postdoc, originally from Thailand, I think, working with C. elegans. How to proceed with these two species, and maybe out of Princeton and Yale as well, in seeking to scientifically prove aging reversal and extreme longevity in Drosophila fly, and possibly in C. elegans too. The roundworm with just 500 or 900 cells or something. More about this in the blog post Soroko Phallus in my blog from 7/20/26. Agenda item 5. And my battery is running low, and we're to the 11 a.m. mark, an hour into weekly business meeting. But let me continue with a few more agenda items in some of these regards. Agenda item 5. What are next steps for Bangladesh World University and School, and in the Bangla or Bengali language further? Mahdi Hassan in Dhaka, Bangladesh, emailed me again. We had been in much communication in 2024, 2 or 3 years ago, and regarding, he in many ways created the first World University and School in a non-English language, a Bangladesh World University and School in the Bangla language. And how could we proceed further in some of these regards? Read more about this in the blog post beginning Aldabra Flying Fox SBGS open mic at Los Altos Library. Agenda item 6. Curious whether in South Carolina, Dr. Annie Andrews, a pediatrician who's running for the Democratic seat that has now become a new political race due to the death of Senator Lindsey Graham, whether Annie Andrews will become the US Senator from South Carolina, one of them, and whether she might be able to also, if she became senator, with the US government, help facilitate aging reversal and extreme longevity gene drug therapies, for example, with the FDA and the NIH, and to achieve them, develop them, FDA approved, possibly prior to George Church's estimate of 2050. So develop aging reversal genetic drug therapies with the FDA prior to George Church's estimate of 2050 for the first ones. Hoping at the Aging Reversal Genetics Wiki School or Wiki Subject at World University and School to explore this further. More about this in the Blue-Eyed Darner Dragonfly blog post. Agenda item 7. Also in the Aldabra Flying Fox blog post, attended, participated in, played my Scottish small pipes into a great South Bay Guitar Society open mic at Los Altos Library with Chandra Rajagopal facilitating this on Tuesday, 7th of July, 2026. And after this, there were, I think, 3 guitar players who shared beautiful music. And I also had my Scottish small pipes with me, serendipitously, synchronistically, and also played a little bit. After this, so a few days after this, I asked Gemini AI in a very out-of-the-box way, could it help compose a piece of music for 2 guitars and Scottish small pipes based on a theme from the Pibroch piece of music titled Beloved Scotland, I Leave Thee Dreich, and further orchestrate it for 3 instruments, again, Scottish small pipes and say 2 guitars, with 3 different lines. And Gemini AI incredibly came back with a remarkable YouTube video playing a piece that in a way was a possible orchestration of Scottish small pipes and say 2 guitars. I think it titled the piece Morning on the Firth. It didn't have the motif from Beloved Scotland, I Leave Thee Dreich in it. And I haven't followed up to see if it could write the actual sheet music. And I haven't been in touch with South Bay Guitar Society either, musicians, Chandra or Martha, who might be able to play both guitar lines in interesting ways with me on the Scottish small pipes if the sheet music could be written. But glad to find and explore this innovation with Gemini AI and how remarkable it is. More about this in the blog post beginning Aldabra Flying Fox SBGS open mic at Los Altos Library. Agenda item 8. Yoga greetings on Saturday, July 11th, 2026, and happy restorative yoga explorations, and potentially regarding independence or liberation or freedom due to extreme longevity and aging reversal genetic drug therapies emerging, and with a hashtag realistic virtual earth for yoga and a realistic virtual earth for aging reversal and for genetics, and in the US and around the world. And as we may live to 150 years of age and well beyond. A set of Twitter posts about this, exploring a yoga and longevity genetics convo or conversation. Saturdays at 8 a.m. your time. Everyone together independently, wherever you are, if you so choose. And regarding George Church and age reversal, and a 20-year-old in a 150-year-old body asked Gemini about this, or share Google, the AI mode about this, and it gave an incredible reply. Yes, it may be possible. Set of Twitter posts continue as we may live to 150 well beyond. That's a hashtag and hashtag 8 limbs of yoga. Stay tuned. More about this in the blog post, Blue Lotus Nymphia Cerulea Yoga. So in the same exploratory yoga, a restorative class was asking about muscle wasting, aging reversal naturally, and how to develop with yoga asana for 80 and 90-year-olds especially, and in a realistic virtual earth for molecules, and to combine with yoga-informed gene drug therapies, and had received an incredible article. So I think it's a response to some of the questions I was asking online in a variety of ways. This came from Duke University and the National University of Singapore, and it is an article in Science Daily, and it's titled, "Scientists Discover Why Exercise Reverses Aging Reversal." Sorry, scientists discover why exercise reverses muscle aging. The article in the beginning continues, researchers have uncovered a molecular switch that helps explain why exercise keeps aging muscles healthy. By reducing levels of a gene called DEAF1, physical activity allows older muscles to clear out damage, repair themselves, and maintain strength. So how to develop this natural approach with yoga asana for 80 and 90-year-olds, especially in a realistic virtual for molecules, with potentially gene drug therapies like Yamanaka factors that can reverse aging, OSK, for 80 and 90-year-olds, and combine both yoga asana as exercise that can reverse aging, reverse muscle wasting, with gene drug therapies, and perhaps to help 80 and 90-year-olds, when they get to be 150, have a body similar to what they had as 20-year-olds, with muscles like that as well. A set of Twitter posts, hashtag WUS Pharma, first two hashtag OSK gene drug therapies with hashtag epigenetic programming, one, aging reversal for muscle wasting, and hashtag bone density loss before, e.g., the 70s, when people get to be 70 years old, in their 70th decade, 7th decade, and two, aging reversal genetics for ear, ENT, hashtag ear, ENT, ears, nose, throat, hashtag eustachian tube dysfunction, and similar with hashtag OSK drugs in a realistic virtual earth for genetics, and with avatar agent EHR, electronic health records. How? Ongoing questions. World University Inland School would like to do further research on and experiment with, and on the digital side, especially with Yamanaka factors too. More about this in the blog post beginning, Blue Sky Nymphia Cerulea Yoga. Asked Amy Sterling Robinson, digital lead of Flywire Connectome project, further about this in conversation with George Church, David Sun Kong, Sundar Pichai, Peter Norvig, and others in this restorative yoga course class, explorations in email. How best to scientifically prove aging reversal in a realistic virtual earth for aging reversal, and with C. elegans for aging reversal too, and potentially with Yale's Nawafat Malaywong, and with beginning with Flywire Connectome Amy Neurons, Amy Robinson Sterling, and with so the Drosophila fly melanogaster, and with C. elegans and Yale's Nawafat Malaywong, and with humans and mice as citizen science project 2. This retweets Amy Robinson Sterling, Amy Neurons Twitter post. My latest project, What is a Brain? Data visualization meets neuroscience. Still a WIP, work in progress. Take a look and let me know what you think. And regarding in one, iterating realistic virtual earth in Google Street View with time slider, World University and School seeks to create citizen science project to scientifically prove aging reversal and extreme longevity in C. elegans paralleling Princeton U's Flywire connectome. How Amy neurons to proceed. And this retweets Nawafat Malaywong's Twitter post, new tool for the C. elegans community. Flint 2.0 is now published in G3. Give it a try and love to hear how it works in your lab. From the Oxford University Press publication, academicoup.com journal. C. elegans, CRISPR, transgenesis, genome editing, worm community are the hashtags that Nawafat Malaywong included. Ask this of AI mode as well, and fascinating possibilities here. And so Namaste Yogically as in 8 limbs of yoga here in the picture, the tree of yoga, abolition, yoga, and science-wise, and as we may live to 150 years old and well beyond. Warm regards, Scott, in the blog post beginning Blue Lotus, Nymphaea Cerulea Yoga. Agenda item 9. Thanks, MIT Press, Professor A. Banerjee at Cornell and in India at all. World University and School is developing a realistic virtual Earth potentially for world making and world building. And Professor A. Banerjee recently was the lead editor on a publication titled World Making or Reactionary World Making or similar. I haven't gotten the book yet. It looks fascinating. Stay tuned. More about this in the blog post beginning Soroka Fallis in my blog from 7/2026. Agenda item 10. How to develop my blog as data for my upcoming book, Society, Information Technology, and the Global University at the WS Press. And regarding also Tony Blair's Twitter posts on the age of AI and compared to the information age in the network society, retweeting Tony Blair. So what is hashtag age of AI compared to information age in hashtag network society? Google AI mode suggested that the age of AI shifts value to automated creation and with machine-assisted decision-making. And per Professor Manuel Castells, who he suggests that the information age involves algorithmic evolution and the maturation of the network society. So there's much overlap between these two understandings of the age of AI and the information age, and difference in their readings of these. Tony Blair tweeted, "How can governments meet rising public expectations in the age of AI?" In his new article, originally published in the Jakarta Post, Tony Blair argues that technology should be used not just to improve public services, but to fundamentally reimagine how governments deliver for citizens. And read the full article on the Institute for Global Change's blog. What is the age of AI? Further, it shifts value to automated creation and machine-assisted decision-making. What is the age of AI compared with the information age per UC Berkeley's Manuel Castells? Age of AI is reviewed not as a separate era, but as the algorithmic evolution and maturation of the network society. More about this in the blog posts from the WS News and Agenda from last week, beginning Mount Gunga. Agenda item 11. Just shared about the 1619 project, a collection of magazine issues, audio podcast, and TV documentary episodes, lesson plans, and similar. And the 1619 project docu-series viewing guide where 1619 is the, I guess, first year that slaves were brought to America. And this is a fascinating project. I think it's published by NPR that examines the documentation in these regards by an African-American woman, I think, as well. How can we build this into a realistic virtual Earth for history? Also, read more about this in the blog post beginning Sakharophalos in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com from July of 2026. Agenda item 12, rainbow gathering. Some pictures popped up on my smartphone from when I attended the Rainbow Gathering either in 2013 or 2008 in Wyoming. I think it was 2008. And how to add these pictures to a realistic virtual Earth for history, even a realistic virtual Earth for counterculture, where the Rainbow Gathering is, in a way, pretty transformed, since society is pretty transformed in the 2020s from the 1960s and 1970s. The Rainbow Gathering begins in 1973 in around, I think in around Boulder, Colorado, when a group of people from all over the United States came to celebrate in this Rainbow Festival. I think the National Park Service managed to shut it down in New Hampshire 2 or 3 years ago. I tried to go, but there was a heavy law enforcement presence. And I think the dynamics of rainbows going into the forest earlier, setting up camps without getting permits, and successfully navigating in national forests has changed due partly to societal changes. But how can we begin to understand this further and explore perhaps rainbow gatherings even online to complement rainbow gatherings on the ground in the future as they develop, even with the remarkable contextual societal changes that have changed, that have altered perhaps the Rainbow Gathering in its first 50 years dramatically. More about this in the blog post titled Sakharophalos in my blog, Scott-McCloud, from July 2026. See the pictures too. So moving to the second wing, the WS Corporation, the second of 2 WS wings, the for-profit general stock company legal entity in the state of California, the WS Press planned in 7,159 living languages, and the WS Educational Services stores planned for bookstores, computers, robotics, hospital technologies, and check out the beginning webpage at worlduniversityandschool.org/academic press. Agenda item A, WS Educational Services stores, WS Press, World University and School are seeking to develop with a WS store within a Walmart store model in potentially a WUAS Walmart partnership. Read more about this in the blog post beginning Relict Trillium Reliquium from June of 2026 in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com. Agenda item B, a WUAS Corporation IPO with Walmart's help. In what ways could Walmart help create the WUAS Corporation IPO, initial public offering, after WUAS begins to develop the WS Educational Services stores at the WS Press with a WS store within a store Walmart model in a WS Walmart partnership in 19 out of 200 countries where Walmart does business, and possibly so that the WS Corporation could multi-list on a variety of stock exchanges, including possibly first on the Silicon Valley Long-Term Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ. More about this in the blog post beginning Relict Trillium Reliquium. I'm down to 13% left on my battery. I think two more agenda items. Agenda item C. Agenda item C, how again could the WS Corporation begin to grow with Pi cryptocurrency and in a WS store within a store model in Walmart in 19 out of 200 countries? And how best could Pi cryptocurrency as a single main cryptocurrency be distributed to most of 7.9 billion people on the planet to end poverty in all 200 countries? So before my computer shuts down, that agenda item C is also in the blog post beginning relict, Trillium Reliquium. Thank you. To see if people had wanted to join this. I'll add this to the current active YouTube channel, youtube.com/Scott McLeod World University. I'll also post this to the main Twitter, X feeds, twitter.com/WORLDUNIVANDSCH, twitter.com/WUAS Press, as well as to the main LinkedIn feeds, as well as to the two blog posts for today, using this agenda and news from last week. So today's blog posts begin with the title Adirondack High Peaks Wilderness NY. And I'll add the recording to these using the agenda from July 13th in the Mount Gonga blog posts. Until next time, next Monday, July 27th, 2026. See you online. Looking forward to conversation further about World University and School, such as the interesting email I received from Jaimin Pavashia in Berlin from abstracttechnology.de as we consider this further in these weekly business meetings loosely conducted in the manner of Friends, NTFs, Quakers. Until next week, sgkmacleod@worlduniversityandschool.org is my email. worlduniversityandschool.org is our beginning website. Talk with you soon. Looking forward to communication online in a lot of different ways in a distributed fashion in between. Till next week, bye for now.